Have you ever seen your reflection blink just a split second too late? That half-moment glitch feels like someone else is testing out your face. Stick around, because by the end of tonight, you'll second-guess every mirror, bridge, arcade cabinet, and Uber receipt you ever touch. Urban legends aren't bedtime stories. They're malware for the human mind, slipping past logic, installing themselves in your thoughts, and every so often, they upgrade into real police reports. These aren't fairy tales with happy endings. These are case files with missing pages, evidence lockers with strange objects, and stories that refuse to stay buried. And tonight, every legend comes with a trail of proof. So let's begin, right where nightmares often do, face to face with a mirror. Everyone knows the Bloody Mary dare. 3 times in the mirror, candlelight, then run. But in 1994, 4 12-year-old girls in suburban Chicago didn't run. They locked the bathroom door and waited. At 3:07 a.m., their mothers forced the door open. Every bulb shattered. The girls curled on the tile, fingernails shredded from clawing the mirror. 3 of them didn't speak again for weeks. The 4th? 6 years of therapy, swearing the woman in the glass had no head and wanted hers. Doctors called it a contagious hallucination, fear spreading like a virus between them. But the scratches? 4 identical sets, no sign they touched each other. The case remains unsolved. If a mirror can copy you wrong, what about a bridge where something still waits to meet you?
Colchester Overpass, midnight. Locals say the air smells like rotting meat, and a steady tap, tap, tap echoes across the steel. In 1970, 2 teenagers parked under the bridge woke to a man in a gray bunny suit smashing their windshield with a hatchet. Police dismissed it, until a week later, another couple found a skinned rabbit hanging from the bridge like a warning. The trail went cold, but the bunny man kept working. 1988, a census worker stumbles on rows of slaughtered rabbits. 2005, a jogger finds her car keyed with "You're trespassing." Later that night, her voicemail fills with heavy breathing. The bridge still stands. The bunny suit never surfaced. And every Halloween, a spare sheriff's cruiser sits parked nearby, just in case the ears still fit. If a man in a costume can terrify a county, imagine when the monster isn't a mask, but a name on a lease. On Staten Island, Cropsey was the bedtime threat. Wander off and he'll get you. But in 1987, police arrested Andre Rand, a drifter who once worked at the abandoned Willowbrook Asylum. They found 12-year-old Jennifer Schweiger's body buried nearby, Rand's campsite just steps away. Over the years, prosecutors tied him to 4 more missing children. Evidence was always circumstantial, like muddy footprints leading to a door, but no one ever saw him walk through. Still, jurors remembered the legend. Rand will never leave prison. And every June, Staten Island holds a candlelight vigil, because sometimes the monster under the bed is real enough to pay rent. But what happens when the nightmare hides inside a machine and the monster stares at you through a screen? 1981. A matte black cabinet appears in a Portland laundromat. No logo, no leaderboard, just the word Polybius pulsing in green. Kids lined up with quarters. Days later, migraines, night terrors, nosebleeds.
One boy biked into traffic hours after playing. A month later, the cabinet vanished, rolled away by men in dark suits. No shipping records exist, but that same summer, the FBI raided arcades, seizing illegal devices. The warrant pages? Still censored. Indie coders rebuilt the rumored ROM, spinning mazes so fast your brain feels fried. Maybe the bug wasn't in the code, but in the dopamine overdose it delivered. A digital drug through a joystick. If a game can poison your mind, what do you call it when a window decides not to hold reality back?
1993. A junior lawyer works 38 straight hours. At 6:12 p.m., he mutters, "I've lost the thread." He sprints down the hallway and, without breaking stride, dives through a 30th floor window. The glass doesn't spiderweb, it bursts like soap. Coroners called it suicide, but the family's lawyer proved the pain should have withstood 450 pounds of force, like tackling a wall of solid ice. Now, night shift workers say the hallway smells of burnt paper. Security guards whisper of a shadow sprinting past frosted glass. No footsteps, no sound. That was Toronto. But in Japan, you don't need a skyscraper for terror. All you need is a woman with scissors and a question. She steps toward you in a surgical mask. Am I pretty? Say no, she slashes your throat. Say yes, she pulls down the mask, revealing a mouth slit ear to ear. Then she asks again. Either way, you lose. In 1979, Tokyo police reported a wave of cheek-slicing assaults. Every victim had identical wounds, 2 perfect cuts. No culprit was ever found. The city printed posters. Tell her you're average, then run while she hesitates. The report stopped after 6 months, but every May, police reissue the warning right before festival season. And while Japan warns of a masked woman, England remembers a black dog that left claw marks burned into stone. August 4. 1570. A storm slammed St. Mary's Church. Lightning cracks, and witnesses swear a shaggy black dog the size of a calf walked straight down the aisle. 2 parishioners dropped dead, the stone scorched where it stepped. Clergyman Abraham Fleming published it, a strange and terrible wonder. 4 centuries later, archaeologists lifted those same stones, paw-shaped scorch marks, carbon-dated to that exact year. Today, the tourist board sells plush black shucks, but on stormy nights, the vicar still bolts the doors. And while one ghost dog stalks a church, another legend in Mexico still walks hospital corridors. A nurse who died on duty in the 1930s, her uniform perfectly starched. The sound of snapping cloth always comes first. In 2016, a resident filmed a quiet corridor at 2 a.m. The footage shows an empty hallway, but a sheet lifts itself, folds, clamps click shut. The hospital banned phones after the clip went viral. Nurses still leave a cup of coffee for her. If it's empty by dawn, no code blues happen overnight. 3 years straight, not a single death on coffee nights. Coincidence or gratitude? But not every ghost heals. Some still hitch rides and don't leave when the ride ends. She's everywhere. A girl in white
asking for a ride. She thanks you, disappears, leaves a damped seat. The address always leads to a cemetery. But in 2018, outside Reykjavik, an Uber driver's dash cam recorded it. The rider vanished mid-trip. The door never opened. Her destination? A tuberculosis ward torn down in 1946. The fare? Paid with a credit card canceled the same year. Uber refunded the charge, but the trip remains in the app. 5 stars from a ghost. Which makes you wonder, if data never dies, maybe memory doesn't either. Every story tonight carried receipts, court files, medical notes, financial records. Legends survive because fear lasts longer than facts. So when your hallway creaks or your phone glitches tonight, ask yourself, is it just the house settling or something settling inside you? Tell me in the comments which story just rewired your sense of normal. Mine, that 1944 credit card. Smash like if you want part 2, South American subway legends, and subscribe before your reflection decides to subscribe back.